Hello YouTubers, welcome back to the Signal Box today. Great to have you with me and I hope you enjoy today's video. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and we will crack on with today's video. So I thought the first thing we'd do is we'd get these lovely Airfix wagons which we saw recently on the move. So I've got a suitable motive power to haul them, so we'll get those away now. Just coming through the station on the passing loop and round on my railway today. What a suitable little engine to haul that nice little rake. So as you can see, she makes quite light work of that little rake of wagons there. The only additional wagon that didn't come with the set was the Great Western tow brake van on the back there, which looks nice. Obviously Great Western, got to have a Great Western tow brake van with that goods train there, rumbling over the bridge and off into the tunnel. Something interesting I picked up, it came today in the mail, a little small item, little bit of a fun thing actually, was this. I've already got one of these. I've got a diesel one, but I've never seen a Hornby Steam one in the black colour. I had the red one many years ago. I'm still trying to find that because it had a Stanya hooter, and this one has got a different whistle on it. It's quite nice. Anyway, it's a little bit corny, but a little bit fun. This was before we had DCC sound chips back in the day. Anyway, we'll switch it on and we'll get the following effects. Quite a simple, fun thing, and it's got a GWR whistle as well. Now I've got my controller on brake simulator, so if we shut off, you get a steam exhaust sound effect. Okay, so enough of that. Anyway, a little bit of fun, a little bit of simple electronics from Hornby back in the day. These came out in about the 90s, this thing here. Is there a date on this? Apart from it says Hornby. Made in China, yeah, we know that. But yeah, simple little bit of fun from Hornby, just to annoy the household, I suppose. But I've got that for about £7 on eBay. Anyway, so it's a little bit of fun. I've got the black diesel one in the box somewhere, in the bits and pieces box. I took the batteries out of it, exactly the same colour, but it just does a different sound. But I haven't got one of these ones with the GWR tone whistle, so that's pretty nifty. Anyway, I know it's a little bit of fun, but just goes to show back in the day that's what we had for sound effects. Nowadays you can get, for just under the price tag of £300, you can get a loco that's DCC chipped with sound, and now you can get them with smoke effects and all that business. But they're becoming far too complicated and intricate, in my opinion, for most of us that grew up with standard Hornby Margate models and Triang stuff and Hornby Triang and, you know, all the original stuff. You know, back in the day, if you wanted sound effects, you just got an old vinyl record or a cassette tape, and you play the noise of the steam engine on there, and you drove your train and your model railway to the sound that was being played on the LP. That's pretty much what I used to do. I used to have an old portable cassette recorder and just put a cassette tape in there that had steam train noises and just run my trains to the sound of the engine. And that, to me, is the most simplest form of entertainment that you can get. But that is a little bit of fun from Hornby. I thought it was quite nifty, and I thought, well, for six or £7, you know, can't complain. A little bit of fun. But there we are. So I found the other one in the box, which is this one. So as you can see, one's got, it says horn and idle, another one says exhaust and whistle. So this one is just, you've seen it before, but okay. So that's pretty annoying. You have both of them going. Yeah, that's not annoying, is it? Can you imagine having 5 hours of that in the bedroom and the brother or sister or mum and dad in the next room somewhere trying to get to sleep late at night, and you got that going? Yeah, I think that would have been thrown out the window by somebody. It's different actually, because I remember, and I've still got it, I'm not going to get it out because it's in my containers over there, but I've got in the box the original early 1980s Hornby Super Sound unit, the red thing with the two-tone diesel, the steam whistle and the syncopated chuff noise that went round with your engine on the track. It's all connected by electronics, very clever, but by today's standard, very corny and very cheapy. But of course, nowadays you can get the proper sound chips that are taken from the actual train recordings of that particular locomotive, and it's played back in sync through a little speaker and chip that corresponds with your DCC loco and your keypad. All very clever stuff, but too technical for my thing. Anyway, a little bit of fun. So there we go. Okay, so with an Airfix rake of wagons, you've obviously got to have a proper Airfix engine on the front. So I thought I'd get the LMS 4F on return of duty today with those wagons, and there she goes. Okay, there's, believe it or not, a lot of time has elapsed since the last camera shot, because it was sort of getting on for just after lunchtime, and it's now 3:45 in the afternoon. And how did that time elapse since the last camera shot? Well, this thing trundling around right now is a Bachmann Class 108 DMU. I've had it quite a long time, but it's been well loved and well cared for, and it's been out of action for about 3 to 4 months because I honestly thought the motor inside was dead. And then 2 months ago I took it apart, and I just happened to take the motor out. It's quite a pig of a job, but I managed to get the motor out and hardwire it and just test it, and the motor was perfectly fine. It's good as gold, really good motor, still no problems with it. Brushes, everything. It has little brushes either side of the motor, but it's what you call a coreless motor. And it was, nothing wrong with the motor. So I thought, well, why the heck is this thing not working? And then I found out why. Inside the lead coach, I'll just bring her to a stop. Inside the lead motor coach with the motor in, which is this one here, around about this area, there's like a die cast block, and inside there the actual motor physically clips in, and then it engages with 2 copper prongs, or 2 brass prongs, about there and there inside. And what happened was the brass prongs stick up like ears on a horse, and basically they got misaligned. So I tried to get a pair of tweezers and re-straighten them, and for some reason, no matter how much I tried to straighten them and then put the whole thing back together, it was a pig of a job. And basically the prongs weren't making contact with 2 brass strips that they engage with to power up the motor from the wheels, and also to do the lights and everything on the train. So that was a pig of a job, and I kept on trying to straighten them out as finely as I could, putting the thing back on there, only to find no, it's not actually meeting the contacts, and that's why the thing weren't working. For some strange reason, I don't know why, but I think it might have been the first time I ever took this apart, about 2 years ago, for maintenance and servicing. I took the body off and had a look at the motor, and I put some oil on the worm gear drive. And basically what I think I did, I misaligned the copper contacts, the 2 ears that sit onto the plates there, as I was just describing. It all sounds very technical, but what I basically did in a long shot, I just lopped off these 2 long copper prongs inside, and I physically hardwired the motor to the terminals on the circuit board. So there's just 2 loosey pieces of wire that are quite flexy, and they tuck up inside the motor housing, and I've managed to put it all back together. And then I realised, okay, it runs in the opposite direction, so I needed to basically turn the wires around on the circuit board so the thing would run in the right direction. Got that right after about 3 attempts because it was so fiddly. And then you've got to engage this little worm drive. It's like a plastic shaft with a little lug on the end that clips into the motor, so that turns the gears and everything. That's a pig of a job to fit in there upside down, and it was so nice. It goes into epic proportions. Anyway, the point was I put it all back together. It's taken me about 3.5 hours to do, and then I realised, why isn't the car lighting working? Because it's got interior lights, this thing. The trailing end, the non-driving motor car, or the dummy end, which is that one there, that's fine. But for some reason, the lights inside would not light up. And I thought, why is it not doing that? So I checked the wiring, no. Even tried to turn the wiring around, no. And then, like an idiot, schoolboy mistake, both ends of these cars, like here on that end and that end, right there and right there in the same position, on either ends of these carriages, you've got, again, 2 prongs that stick up, and they correspond with the circuit board that runs inside the roof that powers up some LEDs. What happened was, for some reason, these things were flat as a pancake on the actual body. They weren't raised enough to make contact. So basically what I did, I just took a very fine scale screwdriver. I opened the little ears up so they were sticking upwards, and then I soldered every single physical contact point where they brush up against. So it was solder to solder on all of those joints there. So everything, when they was all clipped back together, makes a nice contact. So we now get illumination. I'll just turn the main light off. I've got this on a very slow speed setting, so you can see that from my TLC, and also I gave the gears are a little bit dry as well, so I gave them some hobby lube on there as well. And she is a good one. I'll just notch that up even a bit more. I'll try and get these lights. Hang on, I'll turn my little light up on the shelf. You might be able to see the interior lights. That's better. I'll try and get it as it comes round. There you go. You can just see inside there. Looks nice. Yeah, there you go. Excellent. And a nice sound over that joint as well. So good. So we've got our directional lights all set properly. Interior car lighting is good. Yeah, we're all happy. And the tail lights work as well. That took me just about 3.5 hours. 3 hours and 25 minutes to do that. So yeah, 3.5 hours. But again, it does happen. I'll put the light back on so we can see what we're doing. So really happy. I've got this on my controller. I'll show you on my analog controller down here. That's on 50. So that's going quite a fair lick scale speed. Let's bring it down a bit to about 45 or so. Yeah, that's better. That looks slow to you on camera, but on 00 scale, that's a nice 45 mile an hour. About 40-ish. Yeah. That's how things should be. That's how I like it anyway. I'm not one of these guys that like to see trains flying around a model railway. It doesn't matter what size it is or gauge, but I'm not into seeing these people that thrash their trains around like Formula 1 cars. That's not how it's done. This is how you should do it. Nice and gentle, nice and steady, just like the real things. These things never really thrashed too much. They were very graceful things on the rail. Anyway, so I'm happy. That's a good 3.5 hours investment in my book, because, guys and girls, I honestly thought I'd have to fork out for a new motor for this Bachmann 108. And although I probably could have contacted Bachmann and asked Bachmann to send out a replacement, it would have cost me. And this hobby's not cheap, Vals. So definitely glad that the motor was okay. Once I know a motor's okay in a loco, I know I've got half a fighting chance of fixing it. But if the motor's kaput and it's no good, then we have a problem. But normally, apart from that crappy Hornby Midland 4F loco that had the burnout, normally things like these Bachmann motors are very, very good. They tend to be quite nice. And since I've cleaned up all the contacts and added some hobby grease on the gears, cleaned all the wheels and resoldered all the contacts, you know, the proof's in the pudding, as they say. Look at that. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed tonight a happy chappy. Very nice. Because that's the perfect rolling stock for my layout. Because my layout's sort of set in the mid-50s, early 60s. And for a layout this size, that does it justice. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, let's run something else. Okay, folks, I know I said I'd run some more trains, but unfortunately I've run out of time because it's getting dark and I've got things to do. And unfortunately I don't get much time of a weekend to do my hobby. But anyway, there's always something else I can run next time. So I hope you enjoyed this brief flirtation with the railway today. And certainly those Airflex wagons worked a treat, didn't they? Running around my railway. Anyway, take care, and I will see you again in the next video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. And I'll be back soon, definitely, with another video. In the meantime, thanks for watching. All the best, and I'll catch up with you soon. Take care now.